Welcome one and all to your 51st episode of Peace Talk. We are back with this lovely installment, and I'm glad to be a half century, if we're going to do one episode a year, of episodes. And we have an amazing reader, or rather, shamanic healer from our website and from the team. Claire, how you doing, yo?
Hello, everyone. Excited to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, yo. How are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah. Like I was just saying there, it feels a bit surreal. So I've not done an interview as such. So but I'm just trying to see it as it's just a chat with lots of people watching.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be exciting. You are an Aries, and for those who are interested, what is your moon and rising?
I'm a Sag moon and a Scorpio rising.
All right, definitely exciting. I know, like when you came up on the live chat, I definitely already felt like the vibrancy and it was a way on the fire, for sure, for sure. If
Yeah.
any,
Sorry, what were you
oh,
going to say?
no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's at 28 degrees. So I think I'm only just starting to own that. So, but I hear that's quite something.
Oh yeah, if there's anything I've learned, the power of master degrees or the later degrees, it's the real deal. Every kind of experience that we've had, and another thing that excites me about you really is, within the tea, we have a lot of water. I noticed we have a lot of Scorpios and Pisces. So to have your fire, sun, and moon, definitely glad to have the vibrancy and
Yeah, I'm so excited to be part of the team. I know I haven't popped up much, but no, that. Hopefully that'll be changing soon because I've worked on a lot of stuff. So definitely feels like this chat's happening when it should.
that's and for those who are aware, where are you? Where do you live, or where are you from?
Well, I'm from Edinburgh in Scotland, so long way away.
Wow. And you've been there since birth, right?
Yeah. I was born. I don't know if anybody knows Edinburgh, but there's a place called Portobello, so it's beside the sea. So I grew up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how would you say growing up there was like, as far as like with what you do? Because we'll get into soon how you got into what you do, but how would you say compared to now the energy's like opened up?
Well, I'd say growing up there, it was, yeah, I feel very lucky now, because like we were right beside the seaside. So like, literally when I was younger, they actually used to do like donkey rides down the beach and just like be surrounded by so many people and just from all different walks of life. But also the thing that kind of excited me when I got into my early teens was we've got a local spiritualist church there. So I'd say that's what really started to bring out my enthusiasm and just kind of like, oh my god, like I think that's what I'm going to do when I'm older, or like that is what I do now. It started to intrigue me because it's quite well known, like in Scotland, that one.
That's okay. And you said it was a spiritualist church.
Yeah, a spiritual. So it's kind of I mean, it's really interesting actually because I hadn't been for about a year and a half or 2 years. And yesterday, I just felt this. Well, put it this way, I'm very open, so I don't mind. I was really feeling the Scorpio moon, like big time, and I was sitting like, And then my friend phoned me that was visiting from London, and just before I even gave her a chance to say hi, I was like, "We need to go to the Spiritualist Church," and she was like, "What?" And I was like, "We need to go." And she's like a Virgo, and she doesn't, she's only just started opening her mind up to this stuff, but her dad really likes it, and so we basically went there, quite serendipitously. And I said, either I'm going to get a message or one of you is. Well, every single one of us got a message that was really quite profound. So it's just kind of an example of like, I just trust my intuition. I mean, I was sitting, no makeup, jammies. I was crying at one point and I was like, no, I just need to go. And then it really it healed me. Like it picked up my energy. So yeah, it was quite amazing because I don't go there all the time because you know, I've not got anything against different sorts of ways of doing things, but the more I've sort of came into my own, I like to do things, being an Aries, I like to do things my own way. And although I really, like, I'm grateful for going there and watching the other mediums, they're very traditional and they're quite strict, you know, like none of them get paid, it's all like voluntary. And, you know, you kind of, you know, I suppose more of it's judging myself, but you're like, you know, it's quite different. It's like if you're wanting to kind of mix things up and do it a bit differently, be modern, you know, they might not be too happy about that. But I'm not linked with them. Like I don't sit at their circle or anything. But it's always interesting, I think, to work and to watch other mediums at work, because nobody does it the same.
No, I'm glad you actually mentioned that. As far as like adding a more personality or at least being less strict, and once again, I really appreciate that about just fire energy in general, just like the authenticity and exuberance. And it really just makes like readings, whether you get one or give one, fun. But well, yes, that's what I want to ask, because when you had mentioned that, and I saw your chart again right now, how do you feel being a Scorpio rising affects your fire?
Wow. Do you know, just wave your hand if I go on a rant, because sometimes I just go full on into channeling and I realise it's like, whoa, what was that? But yeah, it's what did you say? How does it affect my fire?
Yeah. How is it easier to be a, because I noticed that I always thought water was like the most psychic, but I realized that fire signs with water are even more psychic. It's just
Yeah, well, I'd say it's funny because, like, you know, if I'm really excited in that, like, I can be just like, come on, you can do it. I'm quite like a motivational coach, like, and the more I've learned about astrology, I'm like, wow, I am like such a stereotypical Sag moon. It's hilarious. Like, I'm like, come on, yeah. Like, I just find memes hilarious, and you know, just want to laugh all the time and make a joke about things, which hasn't been too great being a counsellor. I need to kind of shove that one out the room when I'm doing that. But then that's where my Scorpio rising comes in, because when, so, say I'm doing a reading, or when I'm in the counselling room, which is, by the way, that's just total general counselling. People don't know that I'm a psychic when I'm in there. It's like, just basically it gives me that edge where if somebody does start talking about something that's really deep or painful or a bit kind of close to the edge, I can stay with them and I don't kind of be like, oh right, that's nice, think positive, or do you know what I mean? It's if it's appropriate and it feels like it's going to help, I'll bring that in. But I know when it's like you've just got to let somebody be in that pain, and I sort of honour it, and that's where that's why, you know, I'm quite open about that. Although I know how to protect my energy and I know how to help other people, I'm not immune from going through really shitty times. And being a Scorpio rising, you know, it seems to happen quite frequently. So it's it's about kind of just transforming, transmuting, and rising stronger, being resilient.
And I bet you can like feel the vibes and projections whenever you go out, or like
It's intense. Yeah, literally, before I knew anything about astrology, all I knew was I am super psychic. Like, I just have all the clairs. You know, so in mediumship, they'll be like, what's your predominant clair? And I'm like, I can't choose. Like, I'll be out for a meal or having a coffee, I get drawn to the songs. Spirit talk to me through the songs, and it's like I'll have to really like pull in my energy to not get distracted by the songs. Like, that's what happened last night when I was out for a meal. I was just constantly, like, everything we were talking about was connected to the songs coming on, and it's like, oh my, it can get annoying actually. But I mean, I do love my gift, so.
Especially when you're not even trying to look for the sign, and then it's just
No, I'm the opposite, and that's quite funny you should say that, because when I was on my counselling course, like, where everybody else was trying to unravel their authenticity, I was trying to ravel mine back in, because I'm so open and I'm so raw and real that people are like, holy shit, man, she's just laying everything out, like, for us to learn from. And it's like, just like, I have to kind of be like, pull it in.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's another cool thing about fire. It's like you really do bring the light, and like I think the light of Aries is really great because it really does help shine who you are, and you just reflect that back to people. I'm sure, you know, most people may not like it because they don't like themselves, but
Yep, it's funny because again, yeah, I mean, and that's I'll probably, you know, because I probably will get onto that, but I wouldn't want to get into it too much. But no, in my counselling training, it was quite. I mean, basically, it put me into a dark night of the soul last year, which I'm totally out of now. But it was something I'm incredibly grateful for, because although it was, sorry, I was going to say can I swear, but I'm going to swear. So it's like I'm trying not to swear that much, but it's like it was. You know, it was fucking terrible. It was horrendous, and I, you know, was turned into she's like turned into a gremlin. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're not yourself, and it's like, what the hell? Claire's normally this happy, lovely person that listens and hears. And I'm like, oh, fuck off! I just don't want to deal with anyone. It was just I just let my double Scorpio best friend see me, and didn't even really want to see my family or anything. But like the reason I say I'm grateful is because it was just I learned so much about every part of me, and now it's like I'm so grateful for like the slightest of opportunities, or like just waking up in the morning and actually feeling good, and you know, just things like that. So I do feel it's a gift when you go through that, but you certainly wouldn't say it at the time.
And I mean, I can only, and that's another thing, going through all that stress. Like, I feel like Aries, and Sag to a degree, is one of those signs that like they get you get your buttons pushed, but then whenever you're not allowed to like react to it, or you're the if like you stand up for yourself or something like that.
Yeah, and well, it's like I'm sure it was when I sort of came across you. I'm terrible with time, but I'm sure it was like last year. I don't think it was. It might have been the year before. But like when you were, I'm sure it's you that always says about like Aries. Oh, something just popped up. Aries is like the villain, and it's like, you know, we're really like the hero, but we look like we're the villain, and that just resonated so much because it is true. Like, I'm very much kind of everyone and trying to make it better because my Scorpio rising can feel that people are lying. So it's like I'll say, and then nobody fucking believes me, and then it's like that's what's like. I won't go into all the details, but that's what's literally what's happened in this case. It's like I would feel like, oh, they're not telling us the truth about the course, or something's not right, and then like I would say it, and then everyone would be like, she's crazy, or she's totally going down the wrong track.
Wow.
And then like it took a year, right, when the course is finished and everything, dynamic extension, to actually be like, oh my god, everything that Claire was saying was right. But it's like I can't be like, I told you so, because like everybody's moved on and, you know, being counsellors and that, and I'm like, what the hell? Yeah. So it's makes a great story. I do keep saying that. It's like, you know, I get it now because I'm in that place where you go from, like, in shamanism we talk about like the wounded healer. Like, I'd say I've gone from that place of being like really wounded and like not being able to get up off the floor wounded to, you know what, that was shit, but now I'm turning my pain into power to help other people, and I'm going to tell people the whole story when it's appropriate, kind of thing.
Beautiful, very beautiful. And it's great to hear Claire is a master of the Claires. So
master of the Claires. Oh dear.
So, you know, how did you become a shamanic healer? How did you really get inspired to walk the path you do? And what is it that you do?
Oh God, I see this question. It just like, I'm so multi-passionate. It's funny because I should have watched this. That would have been good preparation, but I didn't. It was a video last night. I got led to, like, my spirit guides must have sent me to this person to send me to the TED Talk. But it was called multi-potentialite or something like that. So I think that's to do with being multi-passionate.
Yeah.
And it's somebody that's coined this term, but I didn't watch the video, so I'm not gonna explain it because I don't know. But I'm gonna watch it after this, which is not gonna be helpful for this. But it's basically, since I've been an early teen, I've got drawn to like psychic development, spiritual mediumship. Then I put that down, and then I was like adamant I want to be a counsellor. I've got drawn to aromatherapy, crystals. I've worked in a crystal shop. Like, just you name it, I get drawn to just anything. And then, like, the last couple of years, my obsession has been astrology.
Oh, sweet.
And it's like, but I've realised that's the shaman side of me, because shamans they like to learn a little bit about everything, so that when someone comes to them, they can be like, oh, hang on a minute, I've got this in my toolbox, you know. And so that's what I see myself as doing. But you're very much, in my opinion, I feel like you could be like, oh, that sounds cool, I want to do it. But I feel you're more dragged on it, or you just kind of get, like, in my situation, I just got led to everything about shamanism. Like, an old Spirit and Destiny magazine would, like, fall on the floor that was, like, 2 years old, and it'd be like, how to know when you're a shaman, or 10 signs you're a shaman. And then, like, a book would fall off in my living room, all my spiritual books. I'm like, okay, shamanism, okay, shamanism. And it just started slapping me in the face. And that was, like, it actually only started, like, really strongly, probably, like, I'd say around, like, January or February of, was it last year. And then I started to take it very seriously, when basically it'd be like, I would be doing, like, readings or calls with people, and, like, all it would have been was, like, a free sort of chat. And then, like, afterwards they get in touch with me and they're like, I've got so much clarity in my life, blah, 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 all these limited beliefs are gone. And I'm thinking, that was, like, a free chat over either instant messenger for, like, 5 or 10 minutes, or, like, you know, I'm not going to lie, sometimes, like, a 30-minute free chat has turned into 2 hours and they really lucked out and I need to work on my boundaries. But it's like, you know, it's been quite overwhelming, if I'm honest. Like, I'm just kind of like, what the hell is this? And it was actually when I was with Reiki clients in person, and I would be doing, like, you know, my Reiki master didn't teach me to use crystals, but because I love crystals, I would just naturally lay them on the person's, you know, I'd obviously ask permission and I'd lay them on the person. And then I started, like, you know, I'd be healing. And then I'd be like, my spirit guides would be like, you need to remove that big shard of glass, or you need to move that boulder, and that's the voice I hear. It's like, you need to move this dark energy. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I'm just going to do it. So it's like, you know, I started doing things, and then people again were getting miraculous results. Like, their abundance blocks were lifted, and then that's when when was that? 3 weekends ago, I finally got on a shamanic course that I'd been wanting to get on, which didn't happen previously because it wasn't the right time. And then when I went 3 weeks ago, it absolutely was the right time. And that helped me. You know, she did say, she went, I think you're going to know a lot of what we're going to teach, but it will help you. And you know, there was a lot of it, I didn't know there was but most of it I did, but it helped put into alignment, and it helped me just sort of, you shouldn't look for validation, I think, from anyone, but it did help be like, oh, right, wow, it is shamanism I'm doing, and it's a bit kind of more, it's a bit more extreme. Like, you know, I've got a resistance to saying powerful, because I do think Reiki is powerful as well, but Reiki, it is a bit more like, you know, you're laying your hands and the energy is flowing through you to the person or distantly. But with shamanism, it's a bit like, you know, my shaman teacher, he kind of made it sound like being a plasterer. Like, you've got to smooth the surface, then you've got to move any gravel, then you've got to make, it's like there's a lot more kind of, you know, you have to do stuff. And you have to kind of, yeah, do you mean? So so I'm still sort of learning the depths of how far this can go, but it does fascinate me on, like, a daily, weekly basis, because it's just I just touch people and they get the healing. Or, like, I don't need to, and, like, honestly, sometimes I've held my hands up like that and people feel the energy coming through. It's just like I can feel things being pulled out. It's just, so it's, you know, it's quite kind of, I've heard you say this before, and it is true, like, real shamans in the rainforest, like, you know, thingy themselves away. And it's funny because I'm not in a rainforest, but I do like to be alone a lot, most of the time. And I've got a lot of best friends, but most of the time I'm like, nah, I want to be myself, man. Leave me alone.
Wow, that's very profound. I can't wait to look into your chart right now, because I see some really potent aspects. We'll definitely pull it up, but now this makes a lot of sense. When it comes to the seeing of energies, how is your relationship to spirits and seeing them?
So that one's a funny one, because I more see them clairvoyantly, and that's really, I think that's something to do, I feel that's something to do with myself, because I've went to spiritualist church before, or I've been to mediumship readings, and, like, they've told stories about, you know, be careful what you wish for, because you keep wishing to see your granny, and then, like, you know, someone told a story about one night they woke up and their granny was sitting at the end of their bed in the dark. And I'm just like, I remember thinking, no, fuck that, that's creepy. Like, do you mean I want to do the mediumship, but I want to, you know, see them during the day, I don't want to see them at night. But it doesn't really work like that. I feel them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel spirit in my room every night. And sometimes I feel not nice ones as well, which that can be a bit shit.
Yeah.
I was scared of the dark for a long time when I was younger. I still kind of can be. But I mean, I've found ways to work around it. Like I put an eye mask on, I fall asleep to like binaural beats or like a meditation. I've just, you know, I've found ways to work around it, and now I ask my spirit guides to protect me. Whereas before, you know, I probably only started speaking to my spirit guides like really properly, like, you know, you doing it consciously, like maybe like 2013, 2014, kind of, because my spiritual awakening kind of came on full on like 2009, 2010. So yeah.
2009. This makes a lot of sense because if I look back, 2009, let's see, on October 2009, Jupiter was in Aquarius. So yeah, this makes a lot of sense, especially surrounding like now that Jupiter's ready to go over your first, which is why I'm really excited to bring that up on your chart, because so much about that is really symbolic. But I always say that Aries, the 4 signs on the battlefield are Aries, Sagittarius, Scorpio, and Cancer, and you have 3 of those energies. So how does that feel? Like, it makes a lot of sense as far as like when you're on the battlefield, you experience the attacks directly and whatnot. Yeah. And like, yeah, what's that like?
It's intense. I'm very much resonate with the warrior, like definitely an Aries warrior. But like I say, I'd say that it's a funny one, right? Because, you know, bear in mind, like I've always loved the moon, and always very, very connected to the moon. And I was actually born on an 18th, so that's the moon in the tarot, and I always sort of see that connection. But I didn't know like my moon and my rising till again round about the time when I found you, and like I got really into like other astrology stuff. So it was I just always sort of resonated with, why is everything so hard? Do you know what I mean? Like, why is it so hard? Like to, you know, the like challenges and friendship, or kind of challenges and power struggles and family, or misunderstanding me, or like, you know, me being a bit too real for them. Like I'm just always, I want the truth all the time, as you can imagine, being Aries, Sag, and Scorpio rising. Like I'm a bit too much about the truth. Do you know what I mean? It's like, here's the truth, give me the truth. I just want the truth.
All right.
Yeah, the warrior aspect is very strong with me. Like I'm very much, it's something I've had to look into past lives and stuff. Like I've had shamanic healing myself, and you know, things have been brought up about like I definitely would have been like actually on the battleground fighting battles like against authorities and stuff. And then that's hilarious because that's absolutely been my experience in this life. Is always, you know, saying something against schools or saying something against like unis, or like, you know, there's always something going on. But so that really fascinates me, and I think it's a fine balance of kind of looking at what is a past life and trying to let it go, and looking at what's actually happening in the present. But the warrior aspect is very strong in me, but it did take a while to come out. I'd say I only started owning that the last sort of 2 years. Like I was actually very shy as a kid, very, very shy. And it took me ages to like, this is crazy that I'm doing this right now, put it that way. Like I hid for a long time, didn't want to be visible at all. So it's like, I'm quite proud of myself, really.
And I'm going to pull up your chart now just to illustrate how symbolic everything you said. Every time you speak, it's like, oh wow, this is.
And you're seeing why.
Yeah, it's really awesome. So yeah, here's your chart. We see you are a Scorpio rising. First of all, I just want to note how you have Pluto and Saturn so close to the AC.
Yeah.
And I've always seen and kind of felt Pluto is like quintessentially in the 12th, like a mastery of the occult arts, or at least being able to feel very profoundly psychic attack or intent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is, oh my God. The way you said that is, unfortunately, that is a part of my gift, but it's a frustrating one because I can feel right away when somebody doesn't like me, and it'll be when nobody else will be able to spot it, but I'll know. That's something, a gift I've had so strongly since a child. Like I'd always be able to tell like the like friends or the family that didn't like me or didn't like someone else in my family, like say something, I don't know how anyone could like my mum, but like if someone didn't like my mum, which actually probably because my mum's really psychic, do you mean I could feel when they felt a threat, and then I'd used to get very hurt about it because although I'm very strong now, like I'm soft and strong, like I was mostly, like I say, until a few years ago, very just strong inside, but very sensitive and very kind of like, why would somebody not like me? Whereas now I'm just kind of like, this is me. If you don't like me, then we don't need to hang out. Like, this is me.
And that growth and development is definitely admirable, but still, even down to you feeling like if someone doesn't like you or not, I just kind of appreciate that authenticity and clarity that I guess the fire and water both bring, because it could be almost pretty hard to like come to terms with that knowledge and revelation. I know with my Capricorn moon, like I'll try and pretend that I didn't feel certain things, but I can only imagine how impossible it is, like with your energy,
Yeah.
just not only feel it, but then see it. And then that's kind of where, before I get to, the Sagittarius moon with Uranus, which I don't talk too much about Uranus moon, but it's just such a genius aspect. I have it in Capricorn, but in Sagittarius, it's just like your soul, you're already in Aries. So the ninth house as an Aries is a lot to do with belief and sight, but Uranus is just going to like, it gives one a genius soul when on the moon. But then I always see Sagittarius as the ability to see energies. And one thing about moon Uranus contacts, even if it's close to the rising, is the ability to channel higher frequency beings. And once again, in Sagittarius, we're going to probably speak of higher level beings like the gods and goddesses themselves. But especially in the second, I would be really interested to see how this evolves. And that's really more the relevance here, because Jupiter is getting ready to go over your first. And I love how you mentioned really putting yourself out there more. And there's nothing better than a Jupiter transit to really present yourself to the world. And I'm just honored that we could really watch your progress as you do this with us and share your talents with us.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's not easy. Like it's weird because when I watch myself, like try a video or something, I'm like, who is this person? Like, I'm just getting to know. I'm just getting to know her. Do you know what I mean? And but it is. It's like a lot of kind of, especially when I think back to God, like not even, like a year ago at this point, I can't. I don't even really want to think who I was, but it's crazy. So it's just that the way. Recently, I've just started like sort of mediumship development groups, like in person and online, and I've just started thinking, you know what? Okay, I'm going to go on a Facebook Live and see what comes up, and I've done that twice now, and I'll probably do it later on tonight. And it's went great the last two times, and I'm kind of like, are they going to take it away? Is it going to stop? But it's just kind of like I trust in spirit and I trust in my spirit guides, and I know like when that first time before I done it, they were like pushing me so hard, and it was kind of going to balance out something else, that crap that had happened, and I knew that if I could just do it and face my fear, and even if it didn't go amazing, it would go well because I at least attempted it. And it kind of works, both times. Like I've been scared, but I've done it, and then it's went well. So I just keep figuring if I can just combat that and keep doing it, and not fall into fear, because I have sort of noticed with Aries, like for myself and with other people, if you kind of give too much into the fear when you're in Aries, it can kind of get 10 times worse, is what I've sort of observed.
No, yeah, no, definitely. And I really was looking also at the sixth house energy while you were speaking, and it kind of came out to me as how, a lot of this energy may reflect on, would you ever feel like, because once again, I really appreciate Aries as like the one sign that will show you who you are and like what your power is. And then the sex is almost as like you bring out the greatest or the perfect nature of their identities, or at least, um at least, like how where that rawness and strength comes from. It's almost as if you manifest the joy, which is one thing that I don't like about fire in the earth, because it's almost as if you manifest life and passion just for those around you, just by being there, and people can just kind of come and take the energy, and then
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, that's like you've just described my whole teens. Like, I mean, I'm in my early 30s now, and that was my teens. Like, it would. It took me a while to kind of be like, I would, that's what I started saying earlier. And this is what I do, guys. I can't. I've tried to rein it in. I can't. I just go all over the place. It makes sense eventually. Like the people that like me, like me. Those people that are like, she's not getting the point quick enough. They'll be like, they will tune out. But
yeah.
it's that kind of thing where when I was younger, I would say that, like, knowing more about astrology now, I was actually more like a Pisces, to the point where, and I'm getting drawn to my Pisces mug over there. This is what happens when I'm doing reading. I'm like, oh, I'm being drawn to this, I'm being drawn to that, I'm being drawn to that. And the reason I've got that Pisces mug over there is because my best friend, who, it's hilarious because she's a Taurus, Cap moon, and a Virgo rising. Oh no, wait a minute, Virgo moon, Cap rising. That's it. So she's, not all that into this, but she, we're that close that she was like, right, she keeps claiming she's a Pisces even though she's an Aries. I'm going to get her this Pisces mug. So like, she gave me that. But that, like, literally, that was only like, so it was only like, yeah, a couple of years ago that I started being like, okay, something's evolved here. I was very much sensitive, didn't have a lot of boundaries. I would always be like, oh, I'm not important, you go first, or I'll care for you, and people that I don't know very well and absolute strangers. And I still have got a bit of that. Like,
Wow.
I'll always be sending love and light, and like if I see something online or that, I'll be like sending love. Like I do it quite, most throughout the day, but I won't make it my whole day. But it's like, whereas now, like, I'm kind of like, do you know what? It's okay. I don't need to save the world. Like, I don't need to be like Wonder Woman. And it's like I'm being drawn. I've got a Wonder Woman mug, and the box is sitting there, and it says "Take a break from saving the world." And that's pretty much what I learned, was when I learned that self-love and that self-care, and really about being an Aries. It's about I am, like, fill your own cup up first. Like, make sure you love yourself first before you're giving it all away, because you just end up very sad otherwise, and sitting there like, I've just helped everyone else and their life's amazing and my life's shit.
No, that's so beautiful, especially with like the sixth house being so service oriented.
Yeah.
And I really do see you as like the goddess in Aries human form. The 20.
Oh, thank you.
I like how you have Cupid, Amor, Lucifer, Venus, and Demeter all together. All these like goddess energies. Like,
Well, that's funny, mate, because I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, see, that's the, like, I use that to look at my chart too, but it's like, is that, this one's a wee bit more advanced, because I'm like, what the hell is all that going on there? Like, I don't know, that's where I'm just so honest. It's like, with some people, like with a lot of my friends that know nothing about astrology, that just know their star sign, like, I look like I'm like really knowledgeable, but I'm like, no, guys, I know a little bit, but like, there's people that kind of could really go in depth. So it's quite fascinating when you're like, you're telling me a lot of things that I probably don't even know yet. Do you know what I mean? So I appreciate it.
oh, you will know. I think you mentioned something key. It's like the air signs really come with the knowledge, but it's like we know the energy you represent, but it's amazing because you actually are it. Like you embody it, obviously, right? And that's just kind of like, once again, the miracle of fire. But and then with your Scorpio rising, it's like you have that potential to know who someone is to the core and show that to them. And
Yeah.
I just realized with Chiron on the North Node, it's not only your destiny to heal people, and I always notice how Chiron in the seventh really does speak to miraculous healing very profoundly with your words and with your touch as well. So I think it's amazing that you offer healing, which we'll get into, but your moon is right on the South Node with Uranus. So like there's mastery when it comes to the meaning of people's energy. In fact, it's almost as you not only are able to see people's aura and energy, it's like you could interact and help heal it too. But the North Node in the eighth opposite this is like the things you say to people are destined to like trigger and bring out so much secrets because of the healing. It's like when people get healings with you, or when you work with people, they can't necessarily hide those traumatic issues. Like, you're gonna bring them up so that they have to like transform and transmute it. And like, if anything, how would you say, or rather, because I feel like with this energy, if someone does like if someone does were to interact with you or get that healing, it's like what you'll tell them now with the North Node there will trigger a whole change. It's like their whole life can change just by coming across you.
Yeah, I mean, God, yeah, you've got a beautiful way of words. That is like, I resonate with all of that. Like, I started to recognise, now when did I leave there? I worked as a school counsellor a couple of years back there, just and what I recognised there was when the school decided to, not have the service there anymore, which is a volunteering one. I thought, wait a minute, and when I got home, I counted up all the places that I've worked, which were a lot of nurseries, before I made this sort of transition to do this work professionally. And you know that every single one, it either like decided to shut down because it'd been open for ages, or it maybe needed to be shut down because it wasn't, the best place, or just basically things coming to an end. And I thought, oh my God, like at first I thought I'm like the Grim Reaper, and then it was like, I thought this is shit. But then I realised, like, it's actually, no, it's like the place is going down anyway, and it's like I get sent it. Like, it's hilarious because my nursery friends call me Nanny McPhee. My dad said this yesterday when we were out for the meal. It's like, it is like that. It's like I'm only allowed to be somewhere for the time that everybody needs me, and it normally is like, like say like somebody's getting bullied, or like in workplaces, oh my God, like that's when I've been a warrior. And it's always like younger girls that maybe are still kind of learning, and they think it's okay to be spoke to like shit, and I'm like, no, that's the manager, they're not allowed to speak to you like that, and don't let anybody speak to you like that. Like, you even have the right to speak back to your parents like that if you want. Just, be respectful. But it's kind of like I was very much, so, maybe the staff would love me, but then some would maybe not like me. But then, managers tended to have a bit of friction with them because, like, I'd be like, no, you're not allowed to do that. Do you mean, like, that's not fair? So I very much resonate with you. So I'm a catalyst for change. I definitely resonate with that. But then again, the more I've looked into sort of Aries, that we are the change maker, and that's kind of what's happening in my life. Yeah, currently with things, it's like I might not like it, and it's painful, but I couldn't be like, oh, I don't know why it's happening. Like I do, I've got on my wrist there. It means like everything happens for a reason, and like fate and destiny and stuff. It's like a butterfly, which had purple on one wing to represent my spirituality, and it had pink on the other one to represent self-love. And but it's kind of faded now. But that's basically me all over. Like even when something bad's going on, you'd be hard pushed to get me to admit, yeah, I get it. It's all going to mean something. Do you know what I mean? But it can be hard sometimes.
That's so beautiful. And the ruler of your midheaven and 10th house is in the 6th house with Cupid and Amor here. So you really do love what you do. And you see it in here. It's almost as if one cool thing I like about Cupid and Amor, it's like it's so hard for people not to fall in love with the real you and who you are. It's just this loving kindness that emanates from you. And with even Venus here, it's almost as if like your work with people prepares them to be in relationships and like almost.
I got chills when you said that, which is ironic. It's actually ironic because I do. I've been single a long ass time, but I do. I give the most amazing relationship advice, and I've stopped a lot of my friends breaking up with their boyfriends. I mean, I hope it's meant to be. I hope I'm not kind of keeping people together. It shouldn't be together, but it's like because I'm just like I am a trained counsellor now. But even before that, like I would sit and listen to people, and I'd just kind of be like, are you really sure they meant that? Like I think maybe you're triggering an old wound and all this kind of shit. Do you know what I mean? And then it's like I'll get a call back. Oh my God, we sorted it out, and we were so vulnerable with each other. Now we're even closer. Like all that happens all the time.
You know what? That's interesting. Seeing that it's squaring Pluto right now too. So you're definitely having to express those more raw feelings. If anything, I think the most amazing part of your chart is you clearly like a double agent, like take that fire, you know, into the darkness and shine bright. And
Yeah.
when it comes to healing, especially for those of you watching in the live chat, it's so important to examine how, you know, people can balance out the energies and transmute. You have the power of death itself with Pluto, Saturn, and Mars.
Oh no, that doesn't sound good.
Scorpio. Well, it's great because like when you transmute these negative energies, people who heal, sometimes they can give positive energies, but they may not know how to transmute that negativity. And it could even be, it could almost be worse, you know what I'm saying? For those who might be you know, well-meaning, but you know, anyone with negative energy, you're going to nip it in the bud and cleanse it immediately. It's almost as if, like, demons themselves run away from you because of that energy.
They're like, oh man, she's an Aries, run! Scorpio rising and a Sag moon. She's gonna tell us off. Yeah, no, it's yeah, that all resonates. Yeah,
light will definitely. It's just kind of, I get the vision how like vampires or they run from the sun and the light. Like the Scorpio rising might bring them as bait, and then you shine the light. Like, oops, I'm a fire sign, but like.
yeah. Well, it's funny too because you know you've mentioned a few times like bright light and stuff. My name actually means bright light. Like that's what Claire means. So I always thought that was interesting. You know, how people's names are meant to mean something. So I was like, oh, yeah.
And then, wow. And then, you know, oh, okay, yeah. So Neptune is on your Jupiter too, which is once again another superpowered intuition. I feel like in your second and third, this is also what lends you to literally just being able to read people's minds through their body language. Maybe their bodies and minds do tell you. And then your Mars energy is probably where, like, it's not only that you'll feel if anyone dislikes you, your Mars and Scorpio is like, who wants to die? How dare you?
Yeah, it's like, that's why I was like, oh, can we not mention that? Because, you know, obviously, because I have totally geeked out the last couple of years, it's I find it really funny when, like, people are talking about Mars and Scorpio, because it is like when I was younger, yeah, makes a lot of sense. I would get angry very easily and stuff, but it would always be when somebody was doing something wrong, like either to me or a family member or a friend. Like it's yeah, I've never felt it was like in a bad way. But I mean, bad and good is kind of relative. But I would say that what studying, like definitely studying the counselling and studying like all the different healing modalities has done for me is, rather than getting really angry, even though I know that I'm right and somebody's lying, like I just kind of I'm a bit wiser to it now, and I just kind of, you know, I'll hold it in, and I'll be like, right, I see you, I see what you're doing, I'm going to play you back, and I'm going to do it the proper way, and I'm going to expose you when the time is right. Whereas before, I just let my mouth run and be like, you're lying, you're a liar, I know you're a liar, everybody listen to me, and they'd be like, yeah, she doesn't, what's she talking about? Like, they're not lying. And then, because I've realised over time that it takes a while for what I say, the bad stuff, to really sort of, for people to be like, oh my god, we should have listened to her. Whereas people that are close to me now, they do listen. When I'm like, listen, you know, I'm not getting a good feeling, I don't know why, you know, you're going to work your own stuff out here, but people do listen now. So but I think it's because I accept myself more, and I don't want to be somebody that you know, even though somebody's doing something wrong, it's always the person that's fighting it, because sometimes I want peace in my life. Do you know what I mean? That's probably why I'm working, you know, for the peace dealer. But it's like it's kind of like I just want it to be, you know, to be a bit more calmer and peaceful. And I'd say that's what, you know, being counsellor Claire has done for me, because I've got the Taurus and Mercury, and I ground myself, and I make sure I go a walk before I go to see my clients, and I tell the spirits, stay out the room. Do you know what I mean? And all that kind of stuff. It's balanced me out. Yeah.
I like how your Mercury trines Neptune too. That's really dope.
Yeah, what does that mean?
If anything, I think that is what helps you read the spirits, but then Neptune and Capricorn will show you on their body, and then Mercury Taurus will kind of like help ground what you're experiencing. But it's kind of hard to put exactly in words because
yeah, no, I get it. It does sound very, yeah. And it was something about when you were talking about, like, you know, it sounded, you know, just sounded really serious. That really resonates, and I don't know if that's something to do with where my Saturn is, but like I really feel the responsibility to the point where I actually was like, that's why I was hiding so much, because I'm like, oh my goodness, like what, like how can I do this? Like sometimes I just want to shut myself away because I'm like, I feel how important it is and stuff, and but it's just now it's just a case of knowing what keeps me grounded. And knowing that actually, you know, if I don't do healing work, you know, sort of balance it. Like if there's a week where I don't do anything, I start feeling really guilty because I'm like, I could help a lot of people. But you know, I feel the responsibility a lot. So I feel that must be where the Saturn is when I've looked at my chart.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's like you identify with that karmic responsibility. I feel like that's where that anger can come in, because I like where Scorpio doesn't compromise towards if someone projects negative vibes at you, it's like Saturn and Mars is like, you need to be responsible for this now, because
yeah. Yeah, like I don't yeah, that's so true. Like if somebody has caused, like I say, it's normally always been somebody's caused pain to somebody else, and then it's like I'm the lawyer. Like it's been said to me before, I would be great at speaking at Parliament, and I'm like, I think I swear too much for that. But like, you know, I've always been like that. You know, what do you call it when someone goes in with someone to like a disciplinary? I've always been the person that sits beside them when I worked in the nurseries, and then I'd actually win the case. You know, like I was a lawyer, but like, yeah, I told you, you've done that wrong. And it's like, so it's like, you know what I mean? But then it's like, that's why what happened to me last year was so interesting, because when it actually happened to me, like it's quite hard to like prove the injustice when you're actually in the shit and you're suffering, and you know somebody can't even get out of my bed, and it's just, so that's what I mean about it. It's like it was actually, because I'm now grateful that I'm out of it. I'm also grateful that it happened, because I've experienced that level of pain that I didn't think it'd be possible for me to have any more empathy than what I already did. But I mean, it was, because now when I'm sitting with clients, and bear in mind, they don't know all the other work that I do, unless they find me, you know, online or that. And I would just, if somebody said, hey, are you that psychic as well? Then I'd be like, well, yeah, but we're here to talk about you. Like, that's how I manage that. But most of them, they don't know. And it's kind of like, I just have to, I just have to hold the two things quite well. But I've like went off track. I've went on a tangent. I can't even remember why I started talking about that.
That's totally cool. If anything, if you don't mind, like catching you off guard, what could you tell me? Well, let's do like a short mini reading for me.
Ooh, okay.
My energy, or rather, you don't even have to tell me about my energy. Whatever you feel I need to know or hear or whatnot.
Okay, what will I use? I've got so many decks of cards sitting about here. I'm like,
nice cards.
I've like, Mike, it's ridiculous. Like, I've collected them since I was about 16, so I've got like, I don't know, I've at least got about 50 decks of cards. I've actually, it's funny, like this was the first like tarot deck I ever got, and I'm not going to use this because I am not a tarot expert by any means. But that is my next challenge to myself, is I want to teach myself more, because I know most of it, but I want to sort of really sort of study it properly. But I don't even know what this one's called, but I'm sure other people will have it.
Oh, nice.
It's got the tree on the back.
Okay.
But I remember doing a reading for myself when I was about 16, and I asked about a boyfriend I had at the time, and I remember just, you know, it was the middle of the night, I was kind of probably, and I pulled them all out, and I looked at it. And bear in mind, I couldn't read, right? And I just thought, I looked at them and I felt it, and I thought, this is not fucking good. This is really not good. Oh, these are wrong. I just put them back, never used them again for like 5 years, never even looked at them or anything. And of course, it was right. I'm not sure exactly what they were telling me, but they were telling me not good, and it wasn't good. So, you know, it was, but that was me really, you know, feeling how strong my intuition was, and kind of not really wanting to deal with it because I was too young. But yeah, like most of the decks I've got are all angel cards. They're all kind of, you know, that more gentler energy and stuff. I mean, I've got what are these? These are the Denise Lynn Oracle Gateway. So she's very shamanic. Like, I love these ones because these are more like affirmations. Let's use it. I just actually pulled coming into power. I step into my power boldly and confidently. So Yeah, I do feel that was, yeah, I feel like that, but I feel that was for you. So I just picked that up. But yeah, what will I do? Will I do these ones? How do you feel about angel cards? Are you into the angel? I get the feeling you're not so much into the angel.
I think it's my cat moon you're feeling because I'm not
Yeah.
against it. My Gemini is open to it, but my cat might be too. That's a great question.
Making a difference. Yeah, it's funny because all this stuff, it's like, you're like, obviously you're absolutely making a difference and you're like, just, shining light on things that people are just like, oh my God, this is interesting. Because like I say, like that's what you've done for me as well, is that I already loved astrology, but I obviously wasn't ready to, because I do feel it like to learn more about it, because it awakens you even further, like it empowers you when you know what all your placements are. And at least if you know your sun, your moon, and your rising, it has absolutely changed my life and it's got me to know myself on a deeper level. And that's kind of what I do in my work now, is I just, because I've got that sort of choice, I integrate that into what I do because it does matter. But I'm just sort of seeing that correlation of like, I've pulled making a difference. My inner light shines far and wide. And I'm thinking it's funny because, you're saying things like that to me, but like, it's like, yeah, right back at you. But not just kind of like just saying it. It's like, no, that actually is what you're doing too. So it's it's interesting.
So far, so very relevant. Like those, I see those as like not only confirmation, but almost a important reminder. Like you can't really like ignore that.
No, sorry, I get too excited. I just pulled dwelling in truth. I stand in the light of truth.
Okay.
So it is as well. It's like, well, the way I would sort of see that is I do just from the minute I started watching you, I'm just like, oh my God, like he is just absolutely spouting total knowledge and truth. Like, and it is just kind of like, I'm not going to lie, some of it I was like, what is he talking about? But then it was like I was always able to stay with it. Like even the really weird stuff where I could see people in the chat being like, what is Mike talking about? I'm like, no, I get this. And I think it must be my strong Pisces stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd actually, like I used to chat to people and I'd be like, no, I know what he means. Do you know what I mean? This is true. And that's why it was just kind of like, yeah, like that really makes sense to me because it is a brave thing to do because it's, when you go into channeling, it's when I do it myself, it's like, what the hell? Like I know, like my closest friends know when it's not a little clear rad and when it's full on went into channeling because it's like, hey, I wouldn't use that word. I wouldn't say that. Do you know what I
Oh
mean?
yes, and I like that you have that Gemini 8th house in your chart because that to me is like you just know the truth of everything being hidden, like Scorpio style. Every truth, like that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. I'm just feeling like I need to use, I don't know, what deck is this? I've got the, right, I've got the Fairy Tarot here. I've got the Angel Tarot. The Fairy Tarot. That's, Radley Valentine that done them, and Doreen. And I've got the Archangel Tarot as well. It's funny actually. I only bought these because I wanted Radley to sign them when I went to the Angel Summit, and I was like, oh, I haven't got them. I'll get them. But I actually kind of love these ones. Like they are quite profound, I find. So yeah. Right. Do you want me to pull a card from it? Or?
Yes, please.
Yeah? Right. Okay. Right. What? I'll just ask what you need to know this thing.
I felt my soul laugh when you were pulling the cards. Like
really? Oh.
I felt the need to tell you it.
Right. So I've pulled. Ooh. Yeah. Right. Okay. This makes sense. Right. So I've pulled the 5 of Raphael, and this one's all about like right away. I feel it's to do with the heart chakra, and I've been feeling that so much this Scorpio moon period. This is a deep, intense purge. I feel that's every Scorpio moon period, but this one is like, whoa. Hold on tight, guys. Like, we're getting rid of stuff so we can dance and sing into Sag Moon period. But it's, the card I've pulled is everything happens for a reason. Release regret and embrace opportunities for happiness. Search for the silver lining. And it's like, I feel like it's like that woman's looking away and it's kind of like, oh, like this is a bit kind of what's going on here. But it's like she's moving forward. And that big angel, who I'm assuming is meant to be Raphael, is behind, is kind of like, no, it's okay. Like you can move this way now. You can move this way. And then the next one I pulled was the Knight of Ariel, trustworthy, understanding, devoted, and funny. That sounds very much like yourself, Mike. And it says, there is so much to accomplish. Make a very detailed plan, being watched over by someone kind. So that's how I feel those two tie together, because it's like, this is like representing like your guides kind of like pushing you like a certain way to kind of be like, you know, this might feel a bit uncomfortable, but, you know, keep going. And then that takes me to this one, because like, it's like, before I even need the words, like it's like a guy reading a book, like kind of really deep in thought, learning something with the gold dust flying out. And then the angel's kind of like, look, here, you need to look at this bit. You've missed a bit. And it says, take great pride in your excellent work. Practice makes perfect. Consider getting additional education or training. So it's like, but what I'm feeling from that is it's like really sort of looking deeper and learning into something more that you're really wanting to get into, like a certain area. Yeah. Is what I'm feeling. Where did I just put the rest of? But right. Oh, and then on the bottom of the deck, they just told me it's that one. It's like on the bottom of the deck, it's the wheel, Archangel Jeremiah, and that is the archangel that comes and clears away things for the new to come in. Because it's new beginnings, end of delays, a change in direction that offers happiness. So yeah, that you know, it is something that's like something's took a detour and it's going a different way, but it's like now you're on track, because to me, like, I love numerology as well, and the 10 and the 1 goes back to 1 and new beginnings, hence why it's got new beginnings on the card. So it's like, yeah, so it's, I feel like you've took a, I don't know, it's like a backtrack. Do you mean like, oh, here, and then it's like, I don't know, something like that. It's like I was feeling like a robot. Like, do you mean like kind of like, oh, I need to go back? Oh, and I just, yeah, the star. But it's like, you know, it's like if you don't tell me to stop, I'll just keep pulling these cards. But it's so it's Archangel Raphael, the star, 1 in 8, abundance, a dream come true, believe in yourself, the end of a difficult situation. So again, that does sort of tell me that first card, it was a bit shit. Like something really shit was going on, basically, to be quite blunt. Like just pain, like a lot of old pain was being purged. And then for you to begin again, stronger, and learn more of what you want to learn, to sort of fine tune is the word I'm getting. But it's like, it really is a good new beginning, because I mean, you've got the star. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. And the Emperor as well. Yeah, I'm like you. So this is what I mean. It's like, I think it's just the end, and it's like, no, keep pulling. The Emperor, Archangel Uriel, stability and efficiency, taking charge of a situation, and ambitious plans. And you know, that's like, that isn't me just being like, oh, it looks like it. Like, I feel that. Do you know what I mean? It's like you've got these, and obviously the Capricorn, it's like you've got these ambitious plans, and it looks like it's going pretty well. It feels like it, because it's like you're on track.
It's actually reassuring to hear. I almost see that with the 5 of Raphael, and then the Ariel card. It really helps me like process. I didn't realize how much I might have been shifting from maybe seeing something wrong. So having the silver lining is not only really reassuring, but because you pulled the star and the Emperor and then the power card and kind of like embracing it, it's really reassuring, if anything.
It is, because yeah, right enough, I forgot that. I put it back because that card stepping into your power, it's like whatever that is, like they never told it, it's like that had to happen, or situations had to happen to make you learn and to get you into being where you are now. Like, it's like these things only happen to get you where you are now. And I mean, the Emperor, do you mean that's like, yeah, standing in your power, isn't it? So
I almost would have felt like I almost dropped the ball. So it definitely helps me accept more, like, once again, like you just said,
yeah,
certain things that seem like it was a mistake or drama, it's like, you know, maybe I had to trigger it or whatnot.
Well, yeah, because things can't be, I mean, and I would say that, but things can't go smoothly all the time. And I think it'd be boring, quite frankly. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's lessons, isn't it? It's growth. Great intuitive insight. I've just pulled the page of Raphael, gentle, loving, dreamy, and open-hearted. Yeah, this is what I've been channeling all day. It's definitely, as people are getting their hearts broken open to love more and to allow that love to come in. That's what I feel is going on. Because it's like, you know, that card's kind of like a new emotional situation. So whether, you know, whatever area that's to do, it's like kind of like, it looked like, you know, you're kind of a bit uncomfortable, but it's like I'm working with it and it's made me grow, kind of thing. Do you mean? And it's messages regarding relationships, social invitations, great intuitive insights. But it's kind of like what you said. It's like, you know, oh, right, yeah, I get it. Like, this has helped in a way, even when things happen that are kind of like, oh, that wasn't part of the plan.
No, that's beautiful. If anything, could you pull one more card
Yeah. Well, just pull it.
For love?
Well, right. Well, let's see. I'll pull. If this doesn't resonate, I'll pull one because I just sort of pulled it before you even said. But it says the page of Michael, truthful, perceptive, analytical, and blunt. An exciting new challenge that does tie in with a new emotional situation. You have what it takes to succeed. Review contracts or documents thoroughly. Totally, review contracts. Definitely talking about no like paper ones, like soul contracts. You know, I mean, like, things like you're bound to. That's what that's about. Yeah. There is a better course of action available to you. Working alone may not be the best answer. Review all the details. So that's really funny. It's like kind of like it is reminding me of something that it's like even if you want to get away from it, you can't because it's like you're tied in to this soul contract. And I do know what that feels like. It's the Two of Gabriel. Make bold and ambitious choices. Great progress is possible. Important relationships with people who share your vision. Yeah. So I mean that really, that's it's the importance of it is the importance of what you're doing, which is tied into your work too. Is very much this is what it says to me, really, because you said in relation to love, it's like it's coming together with somebody to build that vision, and that you're in a contract. It's basically what, and it's like you will come together with whether it's happening now or I don't know, they're not telling me whether it's happening now or soon. It's like that will happen when it's meant to happen, and in divine timing. Everything happens in divine timing, but this is definitely a divine timing one. Decisions, Archangel Jophiel. Release yourself from that which holds you back. Fear. A need to detox. I added in fear, by the way. Unnecessary worry based on lack of self-confidence.
Wow.
So, yeah, interesting. And I always see that, that's fascinating. I loved when this happened in the reading ones. This card, right, I only noticed that it's actually got the Capricorn sign in the cage. So it's like the angels holding, Archangel Jophiel's holding the cage, and the Capricorn sign is in the cage, but the cage door is open, and it's like you're free to be who you are, you're free to express your love, you're free to go that way, but it's like you feel like you're stuck, and it's kind of like, oh, I don't know if this is the right thing to do, and it's like, but you can go. I don't know if you can see, I don't think it'll show you, it won't go close enough, but
no, it's very
I'll take a picture, but it's no, I love that. I mean, that seems quite poignant that you're Cap Moon, and it's got the Capricorn, and because Cap Moon, and then the feelings, and yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it's stunning confirmation, to be honest, because like I think if not just yesterday, I had kind of had that conversation with spirit or whatever about like aligning with a partner for the for the work I do or we do, and the message was don't try and do it alone. Like I needed to hear this because now it's like not just thought. It's a great confirmation to know that this is a soul contract, so it's meant to happen. I actually feel really great right now.
Oh, good, thank you. I'm glad. But the thing is, it's like, well, no, thanks, Spirit. But it's like the thing is that's kind of quite interesting because it is tying in with what you said about the whatever, like the being good at relationships and healing. But it's funny because see when I do readings, I purposely I've got a real resistance. I'm like, oh, I don't want to read about love. See when you said that, I was like, oh no, because it's like I don't just read about any kind of love. Like it's always the really deep ones, and it's I don't like using the labels, but I think we all know the main one. It's like I always pick up on that. And it's again, I feel the responsibility because I'm just like, I don't like when people get carried away and they think that they're like a twin flame or whatever. Because it's like, listen, you'd know, okay? You would know, you'd feel the seriousness, you'd feel the responsibility, and it's like, you'll know, and it's like this. But that's what it's reminding me of. And I know you've said things before, but it is about. I think it's you coming into that epiphany, actually. It's like, oh, I can't do this alone. Like, when I want to go ahead with my plans, I need that person there to kind of give me that strength to do what I'm doing here. Do you know what I mean? Like, so for instance, like, I'm looking at my example, like, it's kind of like when I'm all kind of, ooh, like fire and water and, up in the clouds of the angels, it's like, I need friends and stuff to ground me. So I don't know what that is for you. So maybe for you it's like you need someone that's going to sort of move you into that vulnerability and the feelings and kind of like away from the business sort of thing. Do you mean I get that sort of feeling? But yeah, it's interesting just to sort of see that and to hear you say that, because it's what happens a lot, whether I like it or not. Spirit, I've got another agenda when I do some readings. So
no, that's honestly beautiful. Thank you once again. I'm very glad. I definitely will be open. I won't doubt anymore. But yeah, so before we're gonna do maybe a short Q&A before we end. Maybe for the people in the live chat, we'll answer a few questions. But before that, let's play a game where we ask each other 3 questions. And yeah, I'll ask you. You can ask me. You'll start first. So you'll ask me a question, I'll answer. Then I'll ask you a question, you answer, and then you ask me a question, and we'll do it for 3 rounds. And it could be about anything too.
Okay. My crown chakra is buzzing, by the way. I just have to say it. It's like, it feels like it's just like, you know, when it's like you put a balloon on your head and it's like the hair's like that. I'm just like, what the hell is happening here? Right. What can I ask? Oh man, I'm not. See, this is what I mean. I'm not good at just coming up with. Yeah. When would you say that you got really led on your spiritual path?
Ooh. When would I say I got what?
Like, when would you say you got led to really sort of dive deep into your spiritual path? Like, into sort of, especially kind of being out there with it, like putting yourself in the public eye with it?
No, that's a great question. Ironically, actually, it was when Jupiter was transiting my first house. And yeah, once Jupiter transited in my 12th, I didn't know it was in Taurus. So I was just realizing that my whole life may have been a complete lie. And then it went into Gemini about truth, and I discovered the truth about astrology. And it wasn't until Jupiter was 29 degrees Gemini, because it's in my first house. Well, Gemini is some of my first house. Once it was 29 degrees Gemini, that's when I was like, I'm the peace dealer. Like, this is what I'm about to do. Yeah, that's when I kind of took it out. Before I really kind of knew as much as I knew now, this was the period where before I made the store, I was just asking people like questions like, what's your sign? Do you feel just kind of practicing doing readings and like soaking up so much knowledge, because I got a reading from the Leo King and Chris Witecki. I was like, this is a natal chart? Oh my gosh. So yeah, it's beautiful. And yeah, great question. That was really more, I think that was 2012, 2013. So
right. So yeah, same kind of
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm always interested because, like, I think it was only the other day when I really sort of sat down and I thought, when did I really start feeling, you know, like now, because now people seem to talk about awakening way more than what they did before. Like, I was noticing these triple numbers and all of that, like around then, like, you mean like 2009, 2010, and nobody was talking about it, by the way. Like, I mean, I was seeing 777, and I'm like, and I just thought, I'm going to put that into Google, and then the angel numbers thing came up. So I would just look at it all the time, occasionally say to people, and they'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Whereas now you go in any kind of mystical group and people know it, and it's quite common knowledge. So it's quite interesting to see the evolution of that, because I used to feel very alone, whereas now I'm like, actually, it's not that unusual for people to know.
You're right. No one really did talk about that back then. I think that's brought that up.
Yeah,
that's really awesome. So my question for you is, what is the spookiest or freakiest thing that has ever happened during a reading for you?
Oh wow, God, there's been a lot. I'm just trying to think of one recently. The thing that's been happening recently is because I'm kind of being guided like further down my, like, to take my spiritual path seriously, like, and I've been guided back to do the spiritual mediumship. So like that, you know, it lets people, that is talking to loved ones in spirit. Whereas, you know, the last few years I've been mainly doing psychic readings, and just I can definitely feel people in spirit. But so it's like, in a lot of the readings I've been doing lately, like, I'll just be talking about something and I'll just feel like it's really strong, like granny energy, and then I'll just start saying something, and I think I'm just saying, you know, doing this sort of Akashic records, like reading it, and then and then I'll look at the screen like it'll be like on Facebook Messenger, and the person's like bawling, and it's like that's exactly what like my granny would say, or like, you know, and it's always weird to me because like I didn't call my grandma or my nana like Nan. And in one of them, I was like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm feeling a grandmother energy. Like I'm feeling like Nan." And it's like, "Oh yeah, it is, and that's who I wanted to talk to." And I'm like, and that was quite, you know, it might be like, "But yeah, you're a medium. That happens all the time." But no, like I'd been resisting it, and now that like obviously spirit are like, "Listen, we know you like doing this. We know you like astrology, but you need to do this. Like you need to get into this now. This is where a lot of my gift lies." And that's like I say, that's just been in the last 2 weeks. I've been practicing the Facebook lives in this group and developing, and it's so exciting because it feels new again, because I sort of put it down last year when I wasn't feeling good, and before I would be in my circle. But this is what's funny, like I would so they would sit in meditation for like 20 minutes, right? We'd come up and everyone would be like giving messages from grannies, aunties, you know, anyone that had died. And I'd stand up and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm feeling like, you know, Mary, I'm getting Mother Mary, and Mother Mary's saying this." And I mean, I'd start channeling all of this stuff, and I'm like, "Where the fuck is it? Like, this isn't somebody's granny I've got here." Do you know what I mean? And that's when you said that. That's why that resonated. So it's I've just started to work out. Oh no, this is when I'm channeling higher beings, and this is when I'm doing spiritual mediumship. And I've had to be so strict with myself because it's very important that if you're claiming to do something, you don't fall into psychically reading someone, for instance, if you were doing a spiritual mediumship, because that is solely proven evidence of life after death. So, but I'd say that's getting pretty profound because, yeah, in most of the readings I'm doing, I'm picking up on whoever it is the person wants to speak up to the spirit. So I have to really check that they're into that, because a lot of people don't want to hear from dead people. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people in spirit that maybe didn't like when they're alive, so they don't want to hear them when they're dead. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so yeah. I'm all about checking out with people before I do anything, because I think a lot of people just go full on into telling you something and you didn't even want to know it, and I'm not a fan of that.
That's really good to respect boundaries. Like, so I used to be more
You're frozen, by the way.
Yeah, I had to change the battery real quick.
All right.
Actual live, but yeah, it's great to mention, because sometimes it could be like, oh, super psychic powers, that's cool to feel, but feeling it is totally different.
Yeah, well, I think because, like I say, because when I've had people look at my charts and then like you've enlightened me more, I'll have to watch this back and be like, oh my god. But it's like, you know, definitely the Pluto, the 0 degrees in Pluto in the 12th house, I'm like, right, you know, that explains why I feel so psychic. But it's like, that's where I just feel like, you know, that I wouldn't want somebody reading me like that, like so much. So I try to I say to people, my guides, like, you know, don't show me everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it can really scare the shit out of some people. Do you know what I mean? It's definitely scared the shit out of guys in my life. It's like, whoa, how the hell does she know how I feel? I've not even told her. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I know, like I say, like my first boyfriend that I had, like, he did respect that I was psychic, but I think it was scary because, you know, if there was any cheating going on there, which I'm pretty sure there was, I would always kind of know that too. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, nobody's going to get away with that shit with me. I'll know.
That's interesting. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. All right. Well, yeah, it's your turn.
Oh no, not again. Right. See, you can come up with questions because you're a Gemini. I'm like, I don't know.
You're on the hot seat right now.
So when did you get into the tarot or the tarot? What and how do you say it? Tarot or tarot?
Oh, that's a really good question. I say both, but I wonder if it is tarot. Oh, but tarot sign. Yeah, that's a really good question. I'm gonna look that up.
I don't think I can take credit. I think my spirit guides are telling me it because, like, I was like, I don't know, and then it's like that just popped in my head.
Well, as far as how I got into tarot, that's actually a very great question, because before I got into astrology, when I was going through that 12th house transit, I had met this Aquarius guy. He was into this more like darker traditional religion where it's kind of like Santeria, but a more darker form, where like you consult the African Orisha and like do certain sacrifices and stuff.
Ooh,
so
maybe.
Yeah, this was like right after I was like, what's after Christianity? So before astrology, I went to this and like this is when I just got into like tarot and stuff because I would see him do readings and he eventually ended up teaching me and my sister. And the
Oh,
reason I
cool.
met him was because of my sister. When
Mhm.
he was just like, I have someone you can meet, but you know, she was just like, I don't know if I should, but
Yeah.
he gave me my first reading and like it blew my mind. It's interesting because it ended up I ended up he ended up being someone that was actually just like evil. Like it was
Oh,
not
oh,
necessarily
oh, good. Oh, oh well.
yeah, but it's still I guess because he's an Aquarius, he still had to like help transition me because he
Yeah.
there's so much knowledge I gained just from being from that like episode and chapter with him and like
Yeah, that rings a bell now. I think I've heard you talk about that. Yeah, the Aquarius. Yeah, the Aquarius guy. That's ringing a bell. Yeah.
it's I don't talk about that story too much, but it taught me a whole lot. I know whenever it's time to revisit that, I'll probably if not now because Jupiter's like opposite since then. But I remember at first like he would teach me. He told me first of all take the book the tarot booklet, typical Aquarius. He's like the tarot booklet that teaches you what the cards mean. Throw it away. Just take it, throw it away. Like
That's that's what I was told by the first medium that told me I was a medium. That was what she said to me, and that's what I do that. Like I don't read the angel books. Like I don't. The only book I read is with the Chakra Wisdom Oracle,
yeah,
because I actually trained with Tori for a wee while, and I absolutely love her because she's got a Sag moon as well. I do read the book for that because it's got fables that are quite detailed. But yeah, like it's I don't like to read the book. I feel it holds my intuition back.
yeah. Or at least kind of like confuses you with different interpretations. But
Yeah, people getting a big. I've seen people have big arguments about that in these astrology group or tarot groups, like talking about, oh no, it's an art, it's an art, it's a science, it's a blah blah blah. You don't need this, and I'm like, oh, I just think, listen, people can believe whatever they want. Just agree to disagree and do it however you want to do it.
yeah, no, I totally agree. And even with that, because I get it too. Like it, he first he wanted me to like come up with my own interpretations for it, but honestly, I didn't really learn tarot until after because when he taught me, like I was horrible. Like I wouldn't listen to my intuition. My Cancer sister, um, he didn't even have to teach her. Like she just immediately picked it up. Like she was
Yeah, is
just
that your sister that does the angel cards? Because she's brilliant. Yeah, I love when she does that. Yeah, I really resonate with him. Yeah.
appreciate. Yeah, it's. I was jealous at first. I was like, oh, I would try and pick up the cards. I'd just be mad because like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. And it wasn't. It's interesting
It
too.
just looks so effortless, doesn't it, when she's doing it? It's just like I just like the way that she, yeah, like sort of works out in her head, and just I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah,
It's fascinating and like, um, especially when I would when I first started getting into astrology before I really mastered it, like or before I really walked up the road to mastery, he would specifically tell me, "Oh, screw astrology. It's not as real as you think. Like you have to wait on transits to like do something. That's not real power." And it's like, you know, this was before I really realized how amazing astrology is. Even though he told me that spirit was still, I could hear spirit like, yeah, whatever. Well, still real. Like, oh, it is what it is. But yeah, it's a crazy. After that, the tarot just, I guess, through a little bit more time and experience, I got a lot better at tarot. So
yeah, yeah. It's interesting to hear because it's like I felt a really strong push to just like I wasn't drawn to it. I wasn't interested before, whereas because I've watched so many other people use it all the time, and especially yourself and other people that I see use it, it's like I feel like I really want that one, the Rider Waite one, that like the sort of main one. Like I just really need to have my own deck. Because I've got an app where I get it, I get the daily card every day. So I think I probably know way more than what I feel I do because that'll be getting drummed into my head every time it pops up at like midnight every night. So yeah,
no, that's interesting. I feel like when it's gifted to you, someone had originally told me the tarot deck should be given as a gift to you. That's like when
yeah, I've heard that before. Yeah, I just kind of, I don't know, I think I've been an Aries, I've just scrapped it and made up my own rules because I just wanted to gather all these angel cards. So I was like, I can't take that in, you know what I mean? I just have to buy them myself because nobody around me was doing any of this stuff, do you know what I mean? Like now I've attracted a tribe that have all got like at least one deck of angel cards or whatever, but like before, you know, I would have been waiting a long time if I was going to wait for somebody to give me a deck of cards. Doesn't make sense.
No, that's very true. Well, my question for you is, what are the 3 signs what are your 3 favorite signs, and what 3 signs give you the most challenge?
Ooh, interesting. Right, what are my 3, like, so when you say signs, like, well, I just go with, like, you know, like, not, like, you know, placements, like something moon, or will I just...
You could do placements. That was actually going to say that, too. If you want to do favorite placements instead of just, like, sun signs, you could do that, too.
Right, so I think I'm going to be honest, and I love Sag Moon. So I do love my own placement of that. So that's bold saying that, but I do. Like when I meet other Sag Moons, I get excited. It's like, yeah, woo, like living life. Like I do just love the enthusiasm and the humor. Like I just love to laugh. So I really appreciate like when I meet other Sag Moons. And you know, and the way that I kind of work is I've noticed I do kind of heal people with laughter too. And a lot of the time people think I'm funny and I'm not even meaning to be. So it's like, you know, I don't mind laughing at myself kind of thing. And if I make people laugh without meaning it, then so be it. But my other favourite sign is I love Pisces just because of the mystical aspect really, and because of the like not really being able to put things into words and the symbolism and everything and just imagery and stuff. Like I just love Pisces, and I just feel that they are very kind. I just want to kind of like wrap Pisces up in a blanket and kind of not be kind to everyone so much that they're not being kind to themselves kind of thing. I love that about Pisces. What other kind of... Do you know what's funny? Because I would say, Scorpio. Scorpio suns I love. Like, really love. Like, I mean, my best friend's a Scorpio sun. My dad's a Scorpio sun. My other best friend is a Scorpio sun. Just I'm very, very drawn to Scorpio suns. So I always get, like, I said this recently the other day, I get quite annoyed when like people don't like Scorpios or like kind of like go on about them being back. I'm like, no, I love them. But then, you know, maybe that was because I've got what looks like I've got a stellium or something in Scorpio, or like a Scorpio rising. I was probably feeling it, you know what I mean, and not knowing those suns. I mean, it's funny because I was going to say I love Leos, but then I've got a bit of a thing where it's like I love Leos, but I can't spend loads of time with them. Because I do like to, as much as people, you know, a lot of people seem to perceive me as being super confident and stuff, but I know that I've got, like I say, I've still got quite a very private side and a side that likes to retreat and be alone. So, you know, I like Leos for a night out. Like, for a night out, great. Like, do you mean they're going to be dancing all night and providing entertainment? But I'd put them in the challenging one too, because I do think that, like, to be around a Leo sun a long time, there's something about that is, it's not, like, do you mean I've not got loads of Leo sun friends. I've got loads of Leo moon friends and Leo rising and stuff. I seem to work a lot better with them. But it's probably, I don't know, maybe it's like too much fire. But I do love Leos. But it's just, yeah, in sort of not massive doses. What else? I have challenges with Libras. I do have challenges, but obviously being the opposite side.
Challenges with Libras? Oh my
goodness me. Yeah, but in saying that, one of the people that I'm closest to in my life is a family friend that was my babysitter when I was younger. I'm so close to her, and she's a Libra sun. And she's got like a stellium in Virgo. It's like, oh, when I looked at it, I thought, oh my god, that makes a lot of sense. Why she's just like everything needs to be sort of perfect, but like anyway. But she so it's funny. I've noticed that if I can get past the sort of really coming from totally different perceptions and different sides of the fence, if I can evolve that, I can be like that with Libras. But it can be very, very challenging. It's very much balancing the masculine, the feminine, balancing like the different differences of opinion. It can be very difficult. So I do have challenges, but I love a challenge. So I love a lot of Libras. I've got a lot of close Libras, but there's definitely been challenges there. And then the other one that would be challenging for me would probably be like a lot of earth signs. Like, I mean, it's probably just trying to think of specific people in my life. I was going to say Virgo, but then one of my best friends is a Virgo, and we really understand each other. But I think it's because she's got a Pisces moon, you see. I'd say probably certain Virgo placements I can come up against. I can come up against difficulty, but again, it's like I don't not like any of the signs because I like a challenge. Like, again, one of my other best friends doesn't, she doesn't really, she's not into like quite a lot of the stuff that I do, but we just appreciate each other's difference of opinion. But it is challenging because, at first I was like, you have to believe, like, what do you think these people are lying when they say that I can do this? But now I'm just like, whatever, do you know what I mean? She'll come to her own understanding at some point, or maybe she won't, and just let it go. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I like how you broke down Libra. That's really good.
Yeah, it's interesting. Never a dull moment. I don't put it this way. I couldn't go out with a Libra sun guy. No way. Like, that would, like, no thanks. You know what I mean? Like, it would just be too difficult. It would be like arguing all the time. Like, they would just try to. I'd be like, telling the truth and being honest, and you'd be like, oh, come on, don't do that. You're going to upset people. I know, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? I'll say what I want. It's the truth. So it would work. Like, but it can work with friends because you don't live with friends. Do you know what I mean? So.
Oh wow, no, that's beautiful. I actually see. I know you have one more question for me, but I want to. There's a question that someone has asked in the live chat for you, so I'm gonna have that be my third question.
Oh, because I've not tried to even open a window to see because I would have got so distracted because I'm so freaking dyslexic. It's unreal. So I would have been like, or like paranoid. So I've just
No, it's totally fine. I'm gonna actually wait till your question before I ask it.
Okay, right. Do you know a lot about crystals? Like, what have you got a favorite crystal?
That's such a good question. I feel like as I'm embracing my earth energy, the crystals are calling out to me. Like, I get crystals, but it's like I still feel like it's such a new world to me to like look into. So I definitely want to study that a whole lot more.
Well, that's what when I was. Damn it! See, this is guys, learn from this. This is see when I was pulling your cards, I kept seeing crystals and I wanted to say crystals and I never said it when I was going on about learning something new, like just kind of like as an interest. So yeah, that makes it best. Like I'm kind of getting annoyed at myself for not saying it, but that's my perfectionist side coming in there. But
I feel the same laugh in my soul again. That's interesting.
But yeah, so do you not have a favorite then? Do you feel a bit of a newbie to it still?
I really feel like I need to experiment and see more. Right, there's a lot I like. I see an aquamarine store. Actually, you know what's crazy? This never happened. Right before I went to the live reading, Spirit was like, "Bring your crystal pouch." And
right, that's interesting. Yes,
I love clear quartz.
Yeah, well, it's just a perfect. It's an all-round amplifier, isn't it? So.
Yeah, and I didn't know it also clears or charges other stones too, which is really cool. But honestly, I just need to research more because there's a lot of stones that I'm not even sure what they're called and whatnot. And it'll be, I definitely want to get to a place where it's like I'm a stone doctor, and it's like, oh, you need this stone. Oh,
yeah. You might feel a little bit of annoyance, but like I wouldn't call myself a stone doctor, but I do something weird when I just pick them up and I'm like, so this is turquoise. That's for the throat chakra. I could see that would help you with expressing yourself. Like, do you mean basically when I used to work in the crystal shop, I discovered this gift where I would pick up a crystal and I wouldn't know, like, I hadn't read a book or anything, and I'd just start channeling exactly what it was for. Then we'd, like, me and my friend that owned the shop would, like, look up the, Judy, whatever, I can't remember her name, Judy Hall, the Crystal Bible, and it would be exactly what I said, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that is so weird. But now that's just totally normal to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love crystals. So it's quite rare that I wouldn't know what a crystal was for, or, like, in a reading that I'd be like, oh, you need to get some pyrite for, like, success and, like, bringing in abundance into your life and coming into your power. So yeah, I just seem to kind of know when. But yeah.
No, that's beautiful. Oh, well, the last question I have for you, Phoenix Rising wants to know, what is the deer animal connection, Claire? I see a deer around Claire.
Ooh,
Yeah.
dear. I don't know because I wouldn't know what the. Do they know? Is it a he or she? Does she know the like the symbolicness of it? I know that my spirit guide is a wolf.
It's a wolf. Okay. I know someone
Yeah.
said the symbolism of deer is they stand next to the veil. I think they represent like.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's really interesting. I'm going to have to look it up, but I did get a spirit totem animal reading once, and actually, the person said that we have. I think she said we have about 9 that help us throughout our whole life, and a
Not
lot of
really?
yeah, and it was amazing. And she used those, those. I think it's Stephen Farmer the cards. I've not got them, but I want to get them at some point. The spirit animal or spirit guide cards, and it was so profound. Like every one of the guides she said really, really resonated with me. Because she said about I've got snake medicine, and snake medicine is it sounds like Scorpio rising because it sounds like a fucker. It's like, you wouldn't want somebody to use the snake medicine on you. But she said, you've got this ability to know things and know, like, people's sore spots, but it's like you'd never use it because of your kindness. So that resonated with me, and it kind of does. I think it ties in with Scorpio rising. Like, let's face it, you don't fuck with a Scorpio rising, but it's kind of like, it's that kind of fine balance, isn't it? Of like,
Yeah.
the snake. But no, I don't know about that. That's interesting. But no, I love things like that, and I love when other people like see things and stuff. And yeah. So I don't know. Basically, is the answer. I don't know.
No, if anything, I'm still glad I asked because I can feel that wolf. When you said it, it made sense. Like it's
Yeah.
it's very
Well,
fierce, but still there's love there. It's like
yeah,
it's cool, but it's still
yeah,
very it has its like fierceness or
yeah. I
rough.
like that because that's when I done that shamanism. I mean, I don't know what you'd call it, but it was like the Featherstone training, and it was just kind of like it was just to kind of get more of an insight into what I was doing. And anyway, like that's when you get this initiation, which I won't even try to explain because it was so profound and so kind of, just you'd have to be there. But when I was told about the wolf, it was so interesting because right when we'd been at lunch, I'd kept getting drawn to a wolf picture on the wall and being like, I think I'm going to be told a wolf's like my main guide or something. I said I've not like always massively loved wolves, but I just feel I'm going to be told that. And then I was getting drawn to a wolf blanket in the little hut that we were working in as well. And then sure enough, that was what was said. And what was said was just very, very profound and just, yeah. I mean, it sounds quite, my whole life clicked into place, put it this way. Like now that I've been led to the path of shamanism, I now feel me, is what I would say. But it's a long road. Like, technically I don't think I'm meant to call myself a shaman because you're meant to kind of go, do all the sort of longer retreats and stuff. So I think I'm meant to call myself an energy worker. But, it's shamanism. What I'm doing is shamanism.
No, for sure. If anything, I mean, I'm kind of surprised. Like we are almost 2 hours in this call. It's like I'm gonna
I
make
know.
a quick 1 hour call. We're going on for like it's
I
almost.
know.
So that's amazing. We're gonna close here, and there for those of you in the live chat, we could take like maybe 2 or 3 questions, but
Yeah.
and I'll read them off to you. But yeah, the link to the description, by the way, for those people who are interested in getting a reading with Claire, I strongly recommend it. Especially if anything, I'd recommend more getting a healing because with the Scorpio energy, it's really important to clear. And I had a pranic healing yesterday by a Scorpio, and it was very helpful. So I'm definitely wanting to get back to acknowledging that. But just to reiterate, is there any what could you, for those who are wanting to know, could you explain what services you do and how people can contact you?
Yeah. So the main services that I do are I do like a chakra reading, which is basically I designed that about 3-ish years ago, and I'm sure other people do it, but everyone puts their own spin on it. And it's just basically a deck of cards which are assigned to each of the chakras, from the root chakra to the crown chakra. And I just basically pick up on whatever comes through in the moment. And normally it goes along the lines of like whatever's kind of limited beliefs are around in your root chakra that are stopping, for instance, abundance coming in at your solar plexus. Or at the heart chakra, I'll pick up on like what you're really passionate about. Like say you're passionate about writing a book, but you're not doing anything about it. Like I'll just keep going on about it and like picking up on that. Or if there's any sort of stored pain that's not been released yet, I can pick up on that too. So I always say like, just be warned that, I do pick up on quite a lot of stuff. So if people don't kind of like people being really honest with them, then I'm probably not the reader for them. But a lot of people love that. Like I'm just like, yeah, do anything, say anything. Do you know what I mean? So it's so that is what I'm like. I'm very I pick up on what's truly going on in someone in the moment. Or it's like a few days before, or maybe like an ongoing theme. But normally I tend to keep it very much in the moment because I feel that's where you can empower someone more. I mean, it's interesting to hear things from the past or to hear things from the future. But when someone can actually, it's really kind of bringing out what you already know. Like that's what people say at the end of all of them, that, oh yeah, I already knew that. But like, you've just given me so much clarity and you've kind of like mapped it all out with the cards. So that's like the thing that I'm really passionate about, and that it's different with every person.
Yeah.
And then I also do, I'm changing things up because it's like, it was distant Reiki that I was doing, and I can do that, but it's pretty much because like of my counselling background, I'm more sort of going to, be doing like shamanic counselling, I suppose you would call it, because it's just like this, like when I do like clarity calls or that, like say sometimes I've been able to shift things for people in that, which is great for them, it's not so great for me. Like I'm definitely living out my Egyptian, I'm going to heal the land for free. That was one of my past lives. But it's like, so I've noticed that like in these sessions where I can sort of just listen to someone, and whether it's something like a real issue that's been around for them their whole lives, or something like maybe a bereavement or something that's happened, just by listening and reflecting back their feelings and really holding space for them. Like I'm listening, but I'm also drawing the negative energy out, and then I'm saging in between and everything. And So what else? And in person, I do I use the crystal healing with the Reiki, but then actually distantly, I would do that too. I don't know if you can hear. There's a kid having a tantrum outside. So yeah, just basically loads of different kind of spreads. I just kind of go with whatever. I'm just a bit intuitive. I just go with whatever the person wants. Basically, it's sometimes better just to be like, right, this is what I want help with. Like, can you help me? And then I'll kind of suggest a few things. And that's really how I'm just a bit random and intuitive, really. But intuitive coaching as well is what I'm very passionate about just now. Just being alongside someone on a journey, like not just healing them once and them being a bit kind of like, oh, it's overwhelming and I need somebody to hold space on a regular basis. So I'm getting quite into that as well. But yeah, I know that was totally not clear at all. This is a problem with mine.
No, it's totally cool. They definitely love you in the live chat.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's awesome. Thank you so much again for joining.
Thank you. I loved it, and I don't feel nervous at all. Yeah, I love this. Yeah, it's an honor.
So Ashley asks, she asked Chiron and Gemini in the 12, how did you guys learn to accept your gifts in order to make your healing more effective?
Ooh, that is a good question. How do I accept my gift? Just by being kind to myself and honouring where I was at. Like I have and still can get, but mostly it's a thing of the past now where I'd get very frustrated with the fact that I'd be like, I'm out of my psychic closet, guys. I'm going for it. I'm going to like raise my likes on Facebook. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do YouTube. I'm going to do Facebook, all that kind of shit. And then it'd be like, no. Like 2 weeks later on the new moon, I'm like, oh my God, I need to hide again. I need to just not do. I just need to put this stuff out and help people secretly, and be like you said, double agent. But then it just got to the point it was getting tiring. Do you know what I mean? It's like, not only am I going to keep myself in poverty because I'm not reaching anyone and like not making an income from it and having to go and, like I love working with children, but I'd have to go and do the childcare work to bring in the money because it's like because people weren't being able to find me because I was literally like hiding. So it just got to the point where I just kept pushing myself and just doing things that were really, really uncomfortable. And the more I done it, the more I started to accept myself and be like, do you know what? Like when I actually go for it and just show people who I really am. And even like here when I'm saying like, oh no, I find it really difficult to like be succinct about oh, I've got this service, I've got that service, I've got that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like the Virgos in the chat, I'm like, for God's sake, Claire, do you know what I mean? If you want to get out there, that's not very good. But it's like, it just, you know, that's not my skill, and I don't claim it to be. Like, my skill is healing and intuitiveness, and that's why I need people to overtake the organizing shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, that's how, just by facing my fears and going for it. Like, I mean, look, this is the plan that I've got sitting here. Can you see the plan? The plan is fuck it, let's go. So that's what that is my plan for life now, really. When I'm scared, I just do it. Yeah.
No, that's well said. That's very well said. And I mean, the last question we'll have, which I'll also tie into, Ania wants to ask any tips with the shamanic journey. So I guess to close, like, do you have any final word of advice for people walking the shamanic or spiritual path, and any words of encouragement?
Yeah. Oh, you know, when you said that, that was funny. I felt like it was like a twinge in my solar plexus. Like, and it's probably is because I need my tea too. But it's like, no, it was actually like, do you know, it was like, it's because of the responsibility and the power, I think, that comes with it. That what I would say is to find a reputable shaman, is what I would say. Like, I'm very blessed that there's a healing centre here by a couple that are absolutely amazing. Like, I can't remember when they set it up, but I think it's been there about 15 years. And I went there when I was about 19. And, you know, the women there really, really helped me. And I remember thinking, when I do this when I'm older, I'm going to go back there and volunteer because they really helped me.
Yeah.
And that happens to be the same couple that I did that course with the other weekend there. So it's like, you know, I'm really lucky that they've always been there, and I've kind of went in and out the place, and, you know, they sell crystals and stuff, and kind of went to like day courses where, you know, I would get a card reading or someone would give me like some sort of healing. You know, I've done that, but I'm very lucky that I've got them there that to kind of to see what they're doing, and then to kind of put my own spin on it, because that's why you know. So I respect what they do and I learn from them, and I will probably keep doing their other courses just to be with other like-minded individuals, because it was a very deep experience and profound that you can't really explain. But just keep your own sense of self as well, because I am very modern. Like, I had somebody the other day say, "Hey, that's really amazing. Like, so you love astrology and you're a healer, like you're spiritual healer, but you also love house music. Like, you know, that's quite weird." And I was like, but why? Like, I'm just a freaking person. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of, but I actually, like, I kind of got where she was coming from. It's like, sometimes people wouldn't think these things go, which is why, you know, when I found you, although, like, I mean, I do love rap music, but I'm not as into it as like what you are, or like Nikki loves that as well. It's like, basically just be who you are. Like, be who you are. Like, I mean, we are who we are. And it's like, why do you have to, like, I don't know, like a certain type of soft music because you're spiritual? It's like, you know, you can be a badass spiritual. You can be soft and strong. You be whoever you want to be, basically.
Yeah. No, that's I'm just kind of amazed. Like, I'm glad you're really a part of the team. This is really awesome. And yeah, thank you once again for joining in this peace talk.
Thank you. I loved it. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. Hopefully I've not regretted anything that I've said. I'll watch it back once and I'll be like, right, this could just fall away into YouTube land.
There's a lot of profound things that have been said. I'm gonna take to heart the reading you gave me too. This is in fact, I feel like it's I feel like it shifted the energy, like, just because I had the reading, like, it's gonna like change a whole lot. But it's helping me understand fire. But yeah, regardless, stay tuned, guys, for another exciting episode. And yeah, once again, make sure you guys hit up and support Claire. She's totally ready to serve and hook you guys up. Y'all,
thank you.
no problem. And